Hello, Turner families. My name is Abby Linville, and today I am going to share with you about your parental rights. I'm going to start off by sharing with you what we would like to achieve today through this presentation. We have 4 goals. The first goal is to build a partnership between the parents and educators. Our second goal is to create common expectations between parents and educators. We'd like to have these clear expectations so that everyone understands what their role is in their child's education. Goal 3 is to inform parents of students with or without disabilities of their right. And goal 4 is to create open lines of communication between parents and educators. We value you and your input, and having these open lines of communication are essential to us. So first, we're going to get started by defining what is a parent. According to the Kansas State Department of Education, a parent is a child's natural biological parent, an adoptive parent, a legal guardian, or a person acting as parent. A person acting as parent would be a person that is living in the same household with the child. It might be a grandparent or an aunt that is legally responsible for that child. It could be an appointed education advocate. Those advocates would be appointed by the state, or it could be a foster parent that has been appointed as an education advocate. Now that we know what the role of the parent is defined as, let's talk about what your rights are. So here are some basic parental rights that we value. We strive to keep you informed in a timely manner. We know that you are your child's first teacher, and that your child is important to you, and that you have a right to advocate for your child. We also know that it's important that we clearly communicate to you and inform you of the expectations for your child in our school curriculum, and that we clearly communicate with you the assessments that we administer to your child and how your child performs on those assessments. We also want to let you know that you have access to your child's student education records at any time, as clearly outlined in the law FERPA, which stands for the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. When you have access to those records, you can go over them and look over them, and if you see that there is any information in there that you feel is inaccurate, you have a right to request a change. You also need to know that you have the right to decide who your child's personally identifiable information is shared with. It is protected under the law and cannot be shared with outside parties without your permission. So now we're going to look a little bit closer at parent rights in regards to special education. So students who qualify for special education, or students who have special needs or exceptionalities, are afforded the right to a free and appropriate education. This education is provided at the public expense under public supervision. It must meet the state board standards. It would mean that your child is placed appropriately in the preschool, elementary, or secondary school setting, and that your child is provided with an IEP. An IEP is an individualized education program. It is a plan of special education and related services that work together to meet the unique needs of your student. It is a way that we can make sure that your child is achieving that free and appropriate education at the best level that is appropriate for your individual child. Parents are a valued member of the IEP team. As a parent, you have a right to be provided with your rights. There is a document that is called the Procedural Safeguards or the Parents' Rights Notice. You should be provided with those at least one time per school year. If at any time you would like to look over your rights again, you can request a copy from your school, and they will be provided to you. Because you're a valued member of your child's education, the law affords you the right to be provided with prior written notice anytime the school is wanting to initiate or change the identification, evaluation, or educational placement of your child, or if they are changing a provision of special education that your child's receiving or adding in a related service, you must be provided with prior written notice of that. Parents must also give their consent anytime their child is engaged in the initial evaluation for special education, anytime we're reevaluating your student for special education, when we're adding a service or looking into adding a service to your child's individual education program, or when we want to do a change in placement or a change in service on your student's IEP. The consent that you give must be informed, which means that we need to share with you all relevant information in your native language. We need to make sure that you clearly understand what changes are taking place for your child's education and make sure that you truly agree with it. We need you to also understand that your consent is voluntary and that you may revoke that consent at any time. We also must provide you with a notice of meeting in writing at least 10 days prior to the meeting. We need to provide you with a date and time and what will be discussed at that meeting. We also would like you to know that you may invite others that you believe have expertise or knowledge that would be helpful to the IEP team so that we make sure that we get a really well-rounded view of your child so that we can meet their needs. We also want to speak to our parents of students that are gifted. Your gifted child also would qualify for an IEP and is afforded many of the same rights as a student with special needs or exceptionalities. There are some differences that are clearly outlined in the procedural safeguards. One of those is that a child cannot qualify for gifted services until the age of 5. Students who are gifted also don't automatically qualify for other related services, which is something that's a little different than a student with special needs or exceptionalities. We know that it is your role to advocate for your child. Children are not able to make educational decisions for themselves, and we know that that is your role in your child's education. We want you to know that we value that role, and we are looking forward to continually working with you to best meet the needs of your children. And if you have any questions at any time, please reach out to your child's teacher, your child's case manager, or your school principal. I thank you for listening today, and please let us know if you need any assistance. Have a great day.